In this video series, we're going to be doing a full walkthrough for Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. I'll be giving vocal guidance, hints, tips, and combat tactics along the way. I'll be showing you where to get all of the secret memories, which also unlock the secret side missions. I'll also be giving strategies on how to defeat the bosses. We'll be playing this on PC with the Xbox One controller plugged into the PC. We will be completing all of the main missions and some of the side missions, but not all of the side missions. We'll also be playing the game through on action difficulty. And this first episode in the walkthrough will mostly be a tutorial. My name is Azzavhar or Azza. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so the game kind of drops us right into the action. Let's get cracking on with this Tiamat fight. So RB is normal attack, LB is guard, A is evade. We can press left and right on the D-pad to put our allies into a limit break state. They do a lot more damage in that state. We'll get cracking on through. Right trigger is action ability. Smash through the enemy's health bar. We can press left trigger and B to activate Lightbringer and do a lot more break damage to the enemy. Down on the D-pad to pop a potion. Press A to evade. Kind of like dodge around the enemy here. For the most part on this bit we're just going to be smashing away with RB. A few dodges and some blocks. Hold down LB to guard or block. We are about to deplete Tiamat's break gauge, which is the yellow bar. That's depleted. Then press B to do a soul burst. We're going to go into a lot more detail with all of that coming on up soon. Alright, so now it has dropped us into a tutorial area. Left stick is move jack, and then right stick is move camera. Start is main menu. And when we are in the main menu, you can also press select to actually pause the game if you do need to pause it for whatever reason. So that is that. Hold down the select on an object to interact with it. Push in the right stick to lock onto the enemy. And then RB is standard attack. And RT is action ability. LB is guard or block. Just hold down LB. And A is evade. Press that in any direction, and you can also double tap evade if you want to do like a roll. You can do that as well. So that is that. There's quite a lot to the tutorial stuff, to be fair. Like this entire section is all tutorial, and pretty much the entire first mission is also all tutorial. So there's a lot of mechanics and stuff to this game. The yellow bar is the enemy's break gauge, so we attack until that is depleted. You can press RT to expend MP to use action abilities that deals heavy damage to the break gauge. So in terms of depleting those bars, you've got the yellow one, which is the break gauge, and the white bar, which is the health gauge. Essentially, you can deplete either one of those to defeat your enemy, but in most cases, it's usually the break gauge that goes first. So let's crack on with that. So you'll see that that's all the way down. And then this talks about soul burst. Basically that is running up to them and pressing B. So you can press that when the break gauge is fully depleted. Soul burst effects. Slaying enemies using the soul burst will recover your MP and raise your maximum MP. So if you look down in the bottom left, you've got the purple bar, and you'll see it's like slightly raised over 2 bars. That's because we use the soul burst to raise our maximum MP a little bit. So that is that. Next we got Soul Shield. Hold down B to deplete your break gauge and adopt the Soul Shield stance. So the enemies have a break gauge and we also have a break gauge. So with Soul Shield you basically just hold down B. That's pretty much it. You've got to be careful of your break gauge, however, because if your break gauge is fully depleted and then you try to do it again, Jack will fall over like that and you'll be sort of like knocked down for about 3 or 4 seconds. You can't really do anything, so you're quite vulnerable in that state, so just watch out for that. And if you keep your eyes on the MP bar, what happens when you perform a soul shield is you actually get some MP back, and it also raises your maximum MP as well when you do that. So we kind of like taking some MP each time that we do that. So that is that. You can also press attack again after you do a soul shield. It kind of like does a lunge forward attack. So if you hold down, get the soul shield when he wants to attack us. That's another example of the break gauge being fully depleted. So we're going to then press RB to follow it up with like a lunge forward attack after you complete the soul shield. So that is that. Like I say, just be careful of like the break gauge being fully depleted, because you can get destroyed when you kind of like fall down and you're vulnerable for about 4 seconds or so. This kind of gives us the info that we just went over really. So you basically just hold down B to get the soul shield block. The amount of MP gained by soul shield is directly proportional to the amount of break damage a blocked attack would have dealt. So that is that. Moving forward, instant abilities. This is quite similar to pretty much what we just did. So holding down B, with certain abilities, if the ability is like a purple ability like that, where it says stone throw, and it's kind of highlighted purple, it means you can kind of use soul shield to take it or block it, and then you can actually use it. So if you look down the bottom right, we've absorbed a stone throw, and we can press X to actually cast that back at the enemy. So any ability that is highlighted in purple like that, if it's above the enemy's head and it's purple, it means that you can use that yourself if you soul shield the attack. It's kind of similar to like blue mage type stuff. If you played the Final Fantasy games before this one, it's like a blue mage job type thing. This talks about Lightbringer. So with Lightbringer, it basically puts Jack into this Lightbringer state, which essentially just does massive break damage. So if you keep your eyes on the enemy's break gauges, you press left trigger to bring up this menu, or hold down left trigger, then press B. It also knocks enemies back when you activate it as well. You just do a lot more break damage when you're in this mode. So if you want to go on like a break damage spree and a soul burst spree, then being in Lightbringer mode is really useful. Just bear in mind that it costs 2 bars of MP to use it, which is quite a hefty amount of MP to actually use Lightbringer. And that's it for that bit, and we'll jump into the next stage, which is even more tutorial. Alright, so let's get cracking on. We're not really going to be looking at the story and the cutscene stuff in this particular walkthrough, so let's jump on in to the next mission. Okay, so this drops us into the world map. At the top left, it does say mission level and then average equipment level. So it kind of gives you an idea of what your average equipment level should be for that particular mission level. And if you go back to the tutorial node here on the map, you can press RB and LB to kind of like cycle through all these tutorials. I would recommend popping through them because they are insanely useful. There's loads more video game tutorials, boss guides and walkthroughs on my channel. Some videos have just popped up right now, feel free to check them out and give them a click. I've covered loads of games such as Elden Ring, Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Nioh 2, Ninja Gaiden and loads more. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.